What is going on, everyone? Welcome to today's video. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Ben Richardson. I'm a personal trainer. I'm also a chemical engineer. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 7 magnesium-rich foods that increase testosterone. If this is your first time here, again, my name is Ben Richardson. I am here to help men reclaim their masculinity by boosting their testosterone levels naturally through things like fitness, nutrition, and lifestyle decisions that they make. Over the past several decades, testosterone levels in men have been decreasing every single year, and it's becoming a huge problem in our society. So I am here to build a community of men who want to fix that and rise above it. So if you're interested in becoming a part of that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because I do post content just like this every single week. So magnesium is the 11th most abundant mineral in the human body, and it's also directly involved in over 300 different biochemical reactions that take place in your body. Magnesium also plays a crucial role in testosterone regulation because it's so heavily involved in enzymatic reactions. By the way, enzyme reactions are just reactions that involve proteins that make biochemical reactions take place faster. That's what an enzyme is. It's just a protein that makes a reaction take place faster. I just want to make sure I don't lose any of you in the midst of all of my chemical engineering nerdiness, but anyways. Because magnesium is involved in so many of these protein reactions in the body, it does influence your body's ability to regulate testosterone because testosterone does interact with a lot of these proteins as well. And about 70% of men are actually deficient in magnesium, so statistically, you could probably benefit from this video because eating more of these foods is going to help you correct any deficiencies that you might have so that your testosterone levels are firing on all cylinders. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into this list. So food number 1 on my list of magnesium-rich foods that increase testosterone is dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is a pretty delicious source of magnesium, and it also contains a type of fat called stearic acid, which is one of the best testosterone boosting fat sources out there. Raw cacao powder is also a great route to go here. It's definitely not as pleasant tasting as dark chocolate, but if you combine it with the right foods like vanilla flavored Greek yogurt or some sweet potatoes, maybe throw it into some kind of fruit smoothie, then it's pretty easy to incorporate into your diet. And also raw cacao powder is also going to be a better source of magnesium than just dark chocolate, but you can still get a decent amount of magnesium into your diet by simply eating more dark chocolate. I personally like to keep a bag of raw cacao powder on my shelf for when I do make fruit smoothies, but feel free to just opt for eating more dark chocolate for a tasty source of magnesium, as well as several other testosterone boosting micronutrients like zinc, iron, copper, and manganese. Food number 2 is avocados. Avocados are one of my favorite sources of fat because they're delicious. They contain a lot of great saturated fats and monounsaturated fats that do boost testosterone levels, and they are in fact pretty high in magnesium. Avocados also pair exceptionally well with eggs, and I'm sure you all know by now that eggs are a staple in any testosterone boosting diet. And if you didn't know that, well, now you know. Avocados are also high in potassium, boron, and a not so often discussed micronutrient, and that's copper. Copper does play a pretty interesting role in testosterone synthesis, but we're not going to dive too deep into that in this video, so get your hands on some avocados. That's the point here. So pro tip for you guys, even though I am an advocate of buying organic foods, especially foods that you consume regularly, I don't actually think you need to buy organic avocados because you don't eat the skin, and that's where all the pesticides and the insecticides or whatever icides that they use on them, that's where all those are. They're on the skin, so you really don't need to buy organic avocados. Food number 3 is Brazil nuts. So whenever I think of Brazil nuts, I actually think of that episode of Friends where they all kind of imagine what their lives would be like if things had gone differently. Rachel ends up getting married to that Barry dude from the beginning of the show. Ross stays with his wife, who's a lesbian. Phoebe becomes some stockbroker, and Monica stays fat and she never loses weight. But anyway, Monica ends up dating this dorky dude who shares all of these fun facts with the gang, and one of his not so fun facts is that Brazil nuts are actually seeds.
So, Monica, still going out with Dr. Boring, huh?
Can anyone else name a well-known seed that's been masquerading as a nut?
Oh, dear God, let me see.
Oh, by the way, the answer is the Brazil nut.
Was his question what's more boring than him?
And it turns out that Monica's nerdy, lame boyfriend is actually correct. Brazil nuts are technically seeds because of their brown coatings, which is actually important because that's where most of the micronutrients are. So point being, don't go buying the de-shelled Brazil nuts, make sure that you're getting the ones with the nice thick brown shells on them. Brazil nuts are an incredible source of selenium as well as boron, zinc, and magnesium. All of these play an important role in testosterone production. Brazil nuts are actually so rich in nutrients that the Capuchin monkeys actually learned how to harvest them by letting them dry in the sun and then breaking them open with rocks so that they could eat them. So definitely get yourself some Brazil nuts to ramp up your magnesium intake. Food number 4 is baked potatoes. So I mentioned baked potatoes specifically because it's the skin that contains the bulk of the magnesium. And if you want to eat the skin of a sweet potato, I mean, knock yourself out, I guess, but I can't say that I know too many people who do that. But not only are potatoes loaded with tons of other nutrients, they're also incredibly low in calories and they're insanely filling. So try eating a whole pound of baked potatoes with your dinner, and not only will you get about 45% of your daily value of magnesium, but you'll also be absolutely stuffed with only a few hundred calories worth of food. In fact, when I started losing weight back when I was in college, I would eat about a pound of potatoes every single night with my dinner because potatoes are super cheap and they're super filling. And it worked like a charm for me too, because I lost about 25 pounds in one semester doing just that, and I also stuck to my grocery budget because potatoes are pretty darn cheap. I mean, for whatever reason, people seem to think that eating healthy is expensive, but I'm pretty convinced that they just try to use that as an excuse not to do it. But anyway, that's beside the point. Eat more potatoes. Food number 5 is grass-fed beef. So ground beef is an absolute staple in any testosterone boosting diet, so it's definitely worth mentioning here. About 8 ounces will get you approximately 25% of your daily value of magnesium, which may not seem like a lot, but ground beef is also loaded with a lot of other nutrients like several of the B vitamins, iron, zinc, L-carnitine, choline, selenium, and some testosterone boosting saturated fat as well. So it's definitely worth mentioning. The absolute best way to buy organic grass-fed beef is to connect with some local farmer in your area and see how the cows are raised. See if they eat mostly grass, see if they are free to roam fields and get the sunlight that they're supposed to. I'm not necessarily an animal rights kind of hippie dude, but I do think that animals do at least deserve to live normal, healthy lives rather than getting pumped full of artificial hormones and antibiotics and all these estrogenic chemicals for their whole lives. These chemicals make cows produce milk pretty much year-round, and they also get really fat and they can't even stand up sometimes, and because of that, they stay cooped up inside in a barn all day and they don't get the proper amount of sunlight that they need to produce high-quality meats and milk. And furthermore, good organic grass-fed beef just straight up tastes like candy. So if you want to do a fun little experiment with your dog, cook up some regular ground beef and cook up some organic grass-fed beef. Put them in 2 separate dishes and lay them on the floor at the same time. If your dog is a good boy, he'll know how to stay before going straight for both the bowls when you set them on the ground, but see which one the dog actually goes for first. I can almost guarantee you that your dog's gonna go for the grass-fed organic beef first, because it really is just that much better. All right, food number 6 is spinach. So here's the thing about spinach. Yes, it's factually high in magnesium, but just like some of the other foods, it's not like you can get all of your magnesium just from eating spinach. Also, the fact that spinach cooks down into practically nothing when you cook it, that doesn't really help here either. However, spinach can be added to a lot of meat dishes to give it a little bit of flavor and texture, and it is proportionally very high in magnesium. So if you're going to eat spinach, I actually would recommend that you cook it down, because you'll break down a lot of the phytoestrogenic chemicals that are in the stems and the leafy green part of most plants that you eat. Most vegetables are not actually ideal for human consumption, and just to be very clear about what the definition of a vegetable is, I'm talking about leafy greens and stems. So carrots and onions and potatoes, those are tubers. Mushrooms are fungi. Tomatoes, cucumbers, and bell peppers, those are all technically fruits. So by vegetables, I'm talking about the stems and the leafy green portion of the plant. But if you do choose to eat spinach to get a little bit more magnesium in your diet, just be sure to cook it down. You should be okay with this. So don't let it scare you out of eating spinach, because it is factually high in magnesium. Then last but not least, food number 7 is bananas. So bananas are also not stupid high in magnesium, but they are stupid cheap, and they do contain a lot of other testosterone boosting nutrients as well. One banana will get you about 10% of your daily value of magnesium, but this kind of takes me back to the fruit smoothie again. Imagine if you made a smoothie with 2 bananas, some cacao powder, put an avocado in there, and added a little bit of vanilla Greek yogurt, which, by the way, a few servings of vanilla Greek yogurt actually will have a little bit of magnesium in it as well. So not only would this smoothie be ridiculously delicious, but you'd also get plenty of magnesium with a little concoction like this. In fact, if you want my recipe for a fat incinerating smoothie, check out this short little smoothie recipe video that I made once you're done watching this one. This smoothie is low in calories, it's super filling, and it'll destroy any junk food cravings that you experience, because it's just jam-packed with tons of nutrients. So same idea applies here as it did with avocados when it comes to buying organic. You don't actually eat the banana peel, so you don't really need to buy them organic. Me personally, I buy organic bananas because honestly the price difference is literally cents, and I mean, I doubt you're gonna become a millionaire by opting for buying the cheaper bananas rather than the organic ones, but I'm just gonna kind of leave that decision up to you. So there you have it. Those are 7 magnesium-rich foods that increase testosterone. Now, eating these foods more often to get some magnesium into your diet, that is definitely going to help increase your testosterone levels naturally. But if you want to take your testosterone health to the next level, make sure you check out this video on how to optimize your testosterone levels naturally. In that video, I talk about the 3 most important areas in your life that make the biggest overall difference when it comes to boosting your testosterone. And I also give you a step-by-step breakdown of what you need to do to follow a simple lifestyle that will keep your testosterone levels nice and high and healthy, because that's exactly what you want. So I hope to see you over there, but that's all for this video. If you liked it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And again, if you're new here and you've made it this far, I do want you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I am building a community of men who want to transform their lives like I did by boosting their testosterone levels naturally. Men these days, they just don't pay close enough attention to their testosterone health. And my whole channel is dedicated to helping men do just that in a way that is easy and simple to follow and understand. I post content about things like nutrition, fitness, and lifestyle decisions to boost testosterone naturally. So if you want to become a part of my little community, go ahead and subscribe and turn the notification bells on too, so that you don't miss out on any of my latest videos. If you made it to the end, I do appreciate your support, and I also hope you got a lot out of this video too. So good luck in boosting your testosterone levels naturally. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.